Hi, I am Sam, your teacher, Sam my teacher, Sammy teacher. In algebra, we learn something called FOIL. And of course, it has nothing to do with this kind of aluminum foil. In terms of math, FOIL is an acronym, meaning each of these four letters stands for something. The first letter stands for the word forest. The second letter stands for outside. The third letter stands for inside, and the last letter stands for last. We use FOIL method when we distribute or expand multiplication of two binomials. By the way, binomial means an expression with two terms separated by plus or minus. So I have one binomial here and another binomial here, and we are trying to multiply them. Now, to expand this product of binomials, step 1 is multiply the first term of each binomial. We see that x is the first term of this binomial, and x once again is the first term of this binomial. So when we multiply the firsts, it equals x squared. Next, we're going to multiply the terms at the outside. So when we multiply the terms at the outside, 7 times x will be 7x's. Now we're going to multiply the terms at the inside, and they multiply to be 4x's. And finally, we multiply the last term of each binomial. So when we multiply the last terms of each binomial, 4 times 7 is 28. And we see that these two terms are like terms. So 7x's and 4x's add up to 11x's together. It's the same thing as saying when you have 7 apples and 4 apples, they add up to 11 apples altogether. So we can rewrite this expression as x squared plus 11x plus 28. And now we have a nice trinomial, meaning it's an expression with 3 different terms. And now that we know how we do FOIL, it's time to talk about why we do FOIL. Because everything has a reason. So let's get it. Let's say we have a rectangle. How do we find the area of a rectangle? We multiply the width by the length. So for the rectangle I have drawn, 14 times 17 will give you the area of the rectangle. And if we multiply 14 by 17, the result will be 238. So that's the area of this rectangle. Next, I'm going to break down this width and length into tens and units, which means I'm going to break down 14 into 10 and 4 because they still add up to 14. And same thing for the length. It'll be 10 plus 7. And I divided the rectangle into 4 smaller rectangles. If I express this as numbers, I can rewrite 14 as 10 plus 4 and 17 as 10 plus 7. To find the area of this part, I would have to multiply 10 by 10. So multiply this 10 by this 10, which will equal 100. And that's the area of this part. Next, to find the area of this rectangle, I should multiply 10 by 7. So 10 times 7 is 70. And now we know that this area is 70. Likewise, to find the area of this part, we multiply 4 and 10. So 4 times 10 will be 40. And we write down 40 for the area of this part. Finally, to find this area, we multiply 4 and 7. So 4 times 7 will be 28. And that will be the area of this part. Now, guess what these 4 numbers add up to? It'll be 238. Because what we did was simply break down this area into 4 different parts. so they should add up to the same area. Now, what I'm going to do is substitute all the tens with a letter X. So all of the tens are replaced by variable X. In order to find the expression for the area of this rectangle, we still have to use this formula. So the width of this large rectangle will be x plus 4. So I write x plus 4 here. Now I have to multiply that by the length of the large rectangle, which is x plus 7. So I write x plus 7. Now this area can be found by multiplying x and x, which is simply x squared, because you multiply the same thing twice. So x times x equals x squared, and area of this rectangle is 7 times x, so it can be expressed as 7x. So x times 7, which is 7x, and this area, which is 4 times x, that is 4x. So 4 times x plus 4x. And finally, this area is 7 times 4, which equals 28. So 4 times 7 is plus 28. So it turns out that I had to multiply the first terms of each binomial, f, to find the area of this part. And then I multiply the terms at the outside to find the area of this part. Next, I multiply the terms inside to find the area of this term. And finally, I multiply the last term of each binomial to find the area of this part. And if I combine the like terms into 11x's, this is the expression for the area of this big rectangle. So I want you to keep this in mind. When you multiply two things, whether they are numbers or expressions with variables, it has something to do with the area of a rectangle. I hope I helped you understand the FOIL method better. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.